Good morning, Americans. This is Eilish Matteson tuning in from Provo, Utah. This week on Elimu, we are discussing the alarming education situation in Pakistan. Why does it matter that kids get an education? Most of the time, kids don't even want to go to school here in the United States. Well, we are here to inform you how crucial education is to everyone's lives. I'll start this week's podcast out by explaining the importance of education to a nation. Simply put in 3 words, education is power. Education can be explained through power, and power can be understood through education. Education builds strong, wise leaders to guide the nation in the right direction, and it gives you the knowledge to know right from wrong. A nation needs educated citizens. Malala Yousafzai was able to stop by our show for a few minutes, and when asked the true meaning of power, this is how she responded.
A country with more literate and educated people, a country with more skillful people, a country which has given equal rights to its citizens should be considered the superpower, not the country with atomic bombs and millions of soldiers.
And you know what? She is absolutely right. To move on to the next point, when everyone is educated, it empowers women. It starts to break the gender inequality that exists in so many countries today. There was a study done by Roof Ahmad Bhatt about Indian women and education, and it was found that education actually provided women the knowledge to challenge their role in society and search for a better life. Lastly, education has a positive impact on economic growth. Today, the world has grown so much, and globalization plays a huge role in our everyday life. Competition is a real threat. Because of this, citizens need education to obtain good jobs. As stated by Abdul Jalil and Muhammad Idris, Pakistan will need to obtain her investment in both physical and human capital now and in the coming years in order to achieve industrial level of development. And to conclude my section, illiteracy hinders a nation and weakens the economy. This is just more proof that education is a necessity. And now, Samantha will talk about the impact on Pakistan's current stance on education and how it affects the future.
Thank you, Eilish. One of the main issues facing Pakistan today is religious versus secular dominance over education. While Pakistan's founder Jinnah seems to have wished the country be devoted to its religion while allowing for secular learning and growth, the citizens of today seem to have a hard time integrating the two. Either they want all religious learning or all secular. Either way, the tension is creating it so that no improvements can be made in the educational system. So let's look at some facts. Well, unfortunately, things aren't improving. More than half of all girls in Pakistan are not in school. 70% of those not in school have never been in school. As we take a closer look, we see the majority of those not in school come from poor families. Interestingly enough, we see that most girls are kept from going to school, while boys say they simply don't want to go. Either way, the lack of education is taking a huge negative toll on all of Pakistan's community. One example of the lack of education is the literacy rate, which is less than 58%. So what are they going to do about it? Well, Pakistan has set some specific goals for themselves, goals that have not been met. For example, they want to expand early childhood care and education. They want to promote learning and life skills for young people and adults. They want gender equality. They wanted this by 2015. However, we can see that 2 years have passed since that date, and that has still not been achieved. However, while Pakistan has not yet been able to reach these goals, it doesn't mean there is not hope for their future. We will now turn the time over to Justin for further explanation.
Thank you, Samantha. So what does the future look like for Pakistan's education? Well, it's very unclear, but there are many clues around that could give us hints as to whether or not the education system in Pakistan will prosper, fail, or continue as it is. First of all, Pakistan is going to need help. If Pakistan's government would get involved, Pakistan would stand a chance to turn things around. Right now, the government is only setting aside 2% of its gross domestic product for education, while 60% is put towards the defense of the country. If education truly is important to the nation, more of its GDP would need to be set aside for education rather than defense. International help is also available. One organization is USAID, which seeks to help countries in need of assistance from healthcare to education. In Pakistan, USAID has built more than 1,135 schools and trained over 25,000 teachers in Pakistan. USAID has also committed $70 million and is working jointly with the government of Pakistan and other partners. to help educate and empower more than 200,000 adolescent girls across Pakistan. If more organizations would lend a helping hand like that, it could really make a difference. So looking forward, Pakistan has much potential. It showcases many islands of excellence and innovations by public and private initiatives that can be harnessed to turn around its education metrics within the 2016 to 2030 timeframe. But here's what needs to happen. Eilish and Samantha have discussed the importance of education for all, for the men and women, for the old and young, for those who are Islamic and those who are not. The country will prosper if there is no discrimination regarding those allowed to be educated. Also, if national economics is a focus of learning in Pakistan, there will be much more potential for jobs and a better economy. Lastly, if Pakistan would just act and seek assistance from those around them, we could possibly see an amazing boom in the literacy rates and quality of education for all. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Elimu reporting on the future of education in Pakistan.